Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
All right, welcome back, you guys. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Moni. Are you feeling alert and awake?
Oh, my gosh. Refreshed, even.
Chipper.
So, yeah, guys, welcome back. We're here. It's the Fake Ass
Book Club.
How y'all feeling?
Booking it.
How y'all doing? Hopefully, you guys have had a good week. I know our week has been full of abundance as usual, and the fact that we're here right now is, it's a good thing.
They haven't reinstated slavery yet.
They haven't.
They want to.
They haven't, and I can still read freely.
For now.
While
that's happening, I'm into it.
I'm into it. So, and I would imagine if you're here listening to this, you might be into it as well.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you stopping in to listen to what we have to say today. We do have an actual book, which is very exciting. And we were just debating before we went on air. So like the book, it says Yellow Wife. When you look it up, in some places it says The Yellow Wife. I'm just gonna read the description of this book, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So, The Yellow Wife. I'm sure I covered it if I say it like that. No, The Yellow Wife is a gripping historical fiction novel inspired by a true story of horrors in Richmond's Devil's Half Acre and Lumpkin's jail. It follows Pheby Delores Brown, a young enslaved girl raised with her small protections on a Virginia plantation. At 16, instead of receiving her promised freedom, she's taken to this notorious slave jail and forced into becoming a coerced yellow wife of its cruel jailer, Reuben LaPierre. Inside the world of violence and control, Pheby must navigate brutal power structures, use every bit of courage and intelligence as she has, and fight to protect her children. The story reveals her heartbreaking compromises, her impossible choices, and the extraordinary resilience required for Black women to survive and to keep her family safe within a system designed to destroy her. Now, I didn't mention that this book was written by Sadeqa Johnson. My bad, because I was so caught up on, is it The Yellow Wife? Is it Yellow Wife?
It's Yellow Wife. The cover says Yellow Wife, so I think that's the official.
But for me, I don't know why. I just want to say The Yellow Wife. So that you might be correct.
Because there's just the one in the book. So, and we like articles. Like the language is set up for articles. Some languages don't even use articles.
I know, which always feels weird.
It does. Because it's like, but yeah, it's just because of what I'm used to.
Yeah, man. So that's where we are this week, you guys. And I'm really excited to get into it. I do feel like we didn't know what this book was about when we chose this book. We literally chose it off of its cover. There's a lovely Bridgerton style dress, sort of yellow.
Yeah, there's a bustier. It was full at the bottom.
This is cute.
I'm like, okay, this might
Let's
just
read
be
this.
It's got wife in it, so it's like maybe it's a romance.
Right. And we were saying we need to read like a romance book or something. So I'm like, well, whatever it is, we'll see.
Some romance, I guess. It wasn't. It's not a romance, though.
I wouldn't want any of the romance that was in this book.
Her and Essex?
I wouldn't want that kind of strained relationship. That's crazy as hell. Anywho, we're gonna get all into that. But you guys, we didn't know what it was gonna be.
No.
So it was, yeah. So I want to give you the heads up before we get into this book that this book has graphic depictions of slavery, child death, repeated essay, mental, emotional, physical abuse, torturing,
kidnapping.
Yeah, it's all kind of awful stuff in this book. So, I don't take that lightly because we are going to get into it. So if that's something you're sensitive to, listen at your own discretion. Every last one of our episodes says this is for adult audiences. The language we use is coarse sometimes. So you don't got to be here. Put it like that. So
This is how we do book club.
This is how we do book club, guys. So, yeah, so I just wanted to say that before we got into our dedication this week.
Are we
friends.
getting any N-bombs?
That goes with that. Oh, it's going to be, well, probably.
Maybe every book we do till the end of the year should have like a color in it, because we just did Black is the New White. This is Yellow Wife. We can skip a book next week because we're too tired, and then we can like maybe do like colors.
When we're not tired, we can really dig into that. That could be fun. I like a nice theme. Okay, I'm not gonna say no to that. All right, excellent. So guys, with that in mind, let's go ahead and dedicate this episode. So hands over your hearts, everyone. This and every week, we want to start off our episode with a dedication to our patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys are the best. And then my dedication this week is, goodness, to the medicine women. I feel like this has been a heavy theme in these last few books that we've read. And I think over the course of history, women who use natural remedies and are considered, witchy are demonized or whatever. But I feel like they played and have played such a huge role in our lives to the point where, some of the things that I heard in the book, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I totally heard about some of the stuff, or was stuff that I actually have done myself. So just shout out to all the medicine women, all of the conjurers. And what about you?
Yes, and to the conjurers, the survivors. I think my dedication is going out to all the MAGA hoes who voted for your boy because the price of eggs were too high, and now you ain't getting food stamps. So they real high now. So hope you're enjoying that really smart decision you made.
That was great.
Thank you.
Nice. You've been on that time today, friend. Is the dedication over?
I have been choosing violence a lot.
It's been quite fun.
Dedication over.
All right.
But I've been thinking about that a lot. Because it was like, everything's so expensive. It's like, it's really expensive now, ain't it? Now you got that supplemental nutritional assistance program.
Oh my gosh. And low key, there's some, so before we get into the book, sidebar, there was some social media post that I saw where it was a black lady showing a clip of this white lady saying, complaining about people being on the SNAP benefits and all of this kind of stuff. And if I have to work, why is somebody who's getting SNAP benefits eating better than I am? They have the filet mignon. They have she probably didn't say filet, but she was like, the crab
I've heard
legs,
that before.
Blah, blah, blah. They should just be getting the milk, the eggs, the basic stuff. Like, why are they eating better than me?
Why do they have choices?
Why do they have choices? But what was and this does kind of tie into our book. She was like, first of all, why are they eating better than you? She's like, this is because y'all can't cook. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, she broke it all the way down to point out that, like, the modern day woman will say, I don't know, I don't want to say white,
but you just did.
I know I did. Damn it. Because I'm not picking on y'all. I'm just saying I'm recounting. I already felt like I said something in the last episode where it was like, what did I say? I was mad. Not mad. They were on my list of
the betrayal list.
I felt betrayed. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm piling on, but she was just mentioning that, like, the modern day white woman isn't that far removed from the housework not even being her fucking job. And how, like, they didn't have to cook, they didn't have to clean, they didn't have to do those things. So you may not have the ingenuity in the kitchen. So we've built these billion-dollar businesses on frozen dinners and quick meals and all of this kind of stuff. So, like, when you're put in a situation where you have to figure out, I only have these few things, you don't know how to make a masterpiece out of nothing. This is something that it's so ingrained in us that it's like, dude, we're gonna make it do what we do.
I was served lemons, but I made lemonade.
Had to do it. And so
there was no other option.
It was like, this is a you problem. This isn't people who are on SNAP benefits. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason you're struggling is not because of SNAP recipients.
No.
For the most part of the elderly are veterans and children. So if you don't like them eating, I guess, like, maybe think about yourself. Also, here's another thing. I might wait until it gets later into the book. There's a part where I'm just like, because everyone just loves talking about how much they love Jesus.
Okay, wait.
But-
I'm going to put Jesus.
H.
Come back to
Christ.
Jesus. Oh, come back. Okay. I'm not going to remember this.
Because it's
but I'm
like,
gonna
I
try
don't
to.
remember any Jesus ever complaining about how much poor people were eating.
Never.
Like, that
Never,
was
ever,
never.
ever.
In fact, he just made it a point to feed them. Like, that was it. He was never like, well,
Period.
how much work have you put in today? He was like,
Yeah.
no. And actually,
can eat.
Jesus said, if you love me, feed my sheep. Didn't give a lot of commandments, that Jesus, but
Wow.
that,
But
was one of them.
Sure was.
There was nothing about abortion.
Oh my
I've read
gosh.
the Bible several times. I've really scoured it.
Oh, gosh.
He didn't have any strong opinions
About it?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing about gynecological care, not IVF.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, did I tell you? Okay,
We
we're not
can't
even in
do
the book
this.
yet. No, this is real quick. I'm just so happy I figured this out.
What?
So, because I don't know if you know this, or maybe our listeners don't know this, maybe they do, that the Catholic Church, like, really that anti-abortion stuff started with them. It didn't become an evangelical thing until like the 80s.
Yeah.
They've always been like, as soon as they heard about it, they're like, no. But then they're also against IVF as soon as that came out, because that encroaches on the Immaculate Conception.
It encroaches on it?
Or not the Immaculate Conception, because I was married, the virgin birth. Because that was the whole thing. Like, Jesus was born without sin because, Mary wasn't
There
out
was
here.
no hunching.
Yeah. But now because so it's like, so since you
I
can't.
didn't hunch.
So since now they can't just say like Jesus was the only one born that way, because now we can.
Have
yeah.
sexlessly born children.
People, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, so are they the Messiah too?
That's annoying.
I always wondered why they were so against it, because they always seem like they want more babies, and IVF gets you more
But
babies.
obviously, IVF isn't the same thing as what they're trying to say had happened was. So I just feel like the fact that you even are putting, I hear the through line, but it still sounds ridiculous to me.
Well, it's all ridiculous,
I know.
Moni.
It's so
I'm not.
true.
I'm not like, this is super serious, guys. Like, we
So
can't.
here's this ridiculous
Just
thing.
so you know, just to make my opinions clear, I think people should have the full spectrum of gynecological care.
Of course.
And if you want to do some IVF, do some IVF.
definitely do some IVF. But the fact
I
that
think
the Catholic
insurance should
Church,
pay for it.
the Catholic Church is intimidated by that is crazy to me. Like, that's the part that I'm speaking of. That's
shook.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they should.
It's like, because now, because okay.
I'm sorry, but we're here to talk about Yellow Wife.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it for now.
Okie dokie.
Oh my gosh. Let's get into Sadequa though, because
Okay.
I didn't give.
I knew nothing about this woman like a
Oh
week
my
ago, and
goodness,
now
my life has changed.
Wait, what? What did I
Oh,
just
you
do?
just called somebody on Instagram.
I did not mean to do that. Sorry, sorry, babes.
That's your auntie superpower from being my friend. That was your residual power I gave you from my spider bite.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk
I
about
feel
that.
powerful. Okay, but back to this author who did a real thing. Meet Sadequa. Sadeqa Johnson is the New York Times bestselling author of 5 novels, including the Reese's Book Club pick, The House of Eve. Her accolades include the NAACP Image Award nominee, the 2022 Hurston Wright Foundation Legacy finalist. Moni, please, this is serious. And the BCALA Literary Honoree, and Library of Virginia's Literary People's Choice Award, and for the Phyllis Weekly Book Award. Originally from Philadelphia, she currently lives near Richmond, Virginia, with her husband and 3 teens. Accolades.
I ain't got no food at the house, bro.
Hurry,
Teens,
Bill.
boy. Woo.
It's
Talk
up
about
there.
them groceries. Talk about working magic with. Whew. Okay, so yeah, Sadequa, I'm glad to have made her acquaintance this week. I feel like this
She
is
also has
really
a
good-
talented colorist.
Yeah, her hair looks beautiful in this picture. Her makeup and everything too.
Yeah. Great tone for her skin.
My gosh. So I think if you're up to it, friend, I know it's late.
What happens in this book? Okay, so I wish I could have called you when I realized it's like, oh, slavery.
It was not. I was like, oh, okay, this will be cute and fun. And I thought, wow, the way the universe just drug us back into slavery, even when we weren't trying, is crazy work. Crazy work.
We weren't even
But-
trying to talk about
Nah,
it, but
we wasn't.
it's a very important part of American history. When you leave it out, you're being very disingenuous. And it wasn't an aggressive jobs program to, for colored people.
Give the darkies skills.
Yeah,
forever.
It wasn't that. I know that's very often the narrative that's given to some people. Me being one of those people. I remember growing up being told like, oh, you know what? It wasn't that bad. It didn't go on for that long. I mean, how are you guys?
2% of people, of white people own slaves. There's some statistic.
That's so interesting because we talk about the 1% who have all the wealth. And what's interesting about how bad it was for the economy and why poor people who were considered white were angry at the slaves because it's like, they're taking up all the jobs. And the slaves are like, this was not our idea.
I kind of hate this, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually mind splitting the work with you and we both get paid. How about that?
That'd be great.
That'd be super duper. And then this rich twerp over here might have to do some of his own laundry every once in a while.
Or cook a meal. Figure out how to make a biscuit.
But anyway, our protagonist, what yellow wife? What was her name?
Pheby Delores Brown.
Pheby Delores Brown. She loved giving people her whole, authorly names. But she grew up. Actually, I might need your help with this part because at the beginning I was a little in and out.
Okay.
So when she was talking about her mistress Sally, was that Master Jacob's first wife? Was that what it was? Oh, that was his sister.
That was him.
And so she got passed down. She was an inherited property. Okay, because she was a dowager slave. Super duper. Okay, so but yes, first part of her life was sweet. Miss Sally was one of them nice ones, where she was just like, here, learn to read. Here, play the piano. You're so cute and cool. Yeah. And she was probably aware that this was her niece, So, but yeah, because Phebe was the daughter of Ruth, her which was special to me because that's my great-grandmother's name, and who was an enslaved person, and the person who owned Ruth, Master Jacob.
Bell.
Yeah. And so after Miss Sally died, Phebe becomes property of Master Jacob and his trifling wife. I don't even remember her name.
Delphina.
She's D-, I'm gonna call her. And because she was a D- human, and she was just wildly abusive, really leaned into, and she was also very bitter towards Phebe because she knew that was her husband's illegitimate child.
And she was probably cuter than her too, which is
it sounded like everybody was cuter than her. Oh my God. And she was also frustrated because she wasn't able to have a child. But at the beginning of this book, she is with child. But hasn't delivered yet. And Phebe takes the place of her maidservant who had died, Rachel, another enslaved person. And so she immediately gets to smacking her and verbally abusing her. And the daddy's like, I don't really like this. He's like, let me go out of town with my slave so we can have a good time. So he and Ruth go out of town.
Be safe though.
Yeah, and while she's gone, Phebe meets up with Essex. I remember his name, and he was one of the stable hands, cowboy, if you will.
Original.
Yeah. And so she meets up with him in the stables, and he's like, I need to run away, and she's like, I'm gonna be free when I'm 18, so I don't need to run away. He's like, you sure about that? She's like, yes. And so, but they end up. She had been trying to, preserve her virtue, but she was just like, Essex was just so cute. And so they got it on.
And her mama kept telling her, don't have no
slave babies. Yeah, while you're enslaved, they're just
do
property. You're just breeding hostages.
So don't be out here hunching.
But the human sex drive is undefeated.
Wow.
And so she got to work in the haystack, man.
She sure did.
Rolling the hay.
Yeah.
Hey, and so after a couple weeks of her mama and daddy being gone, they get news that they're heading back, but there's been a terrible accident. And so as soon as that happens, the mama, she's got like a life-threatening injury that Phoebe's trying to attend to, but then D- goes into labor. And so she's like, get over here. You don't need to be tending to your mama. And she's like, well, you need to send for a doctor because she's very, very sick. And she's like, I don't want to hear all that. Well, here's the other thing. So everybody was like, okay, we need to get Essex ready to run because D- has been hunching on Essex too.
That was messed up.
Yeah, because she's like, well, my husband's sleeping with an N-word. I want an N-word too. And so, yeah, Essex told Phebe that. She's like, girl, if that baby comes out black, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So he was like, I need to get up out of here. So they start making arrangements to help Essex run in case the baby turns out tan. So anyway, Phoebe's mama Ruth ends up dying from the injuries, and Miss Sally don't care nothing about that. She gives birth to a very tan
Miss
baby.
Delphina, rather.
You
said Sally. It don't matter.
I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, Miss Sally was
okay.
a good one. But yeah, D-, she ends up giving birth to a very tan baby and takes it out to the river and drowns it. And Phoebe sees her do that, and it's just like, now this
and buries it.
Okay, so pause. This is what. Okay, so. Kat has been on one today. I just felt like there hasn't been enough murdering. I've just been so irritated with all the sexual assault. But I can't say what I would have done. Once again, it's a fictional story anyway. But if I had seen D- drown that baby, she had just had a baby. I feel like I could have overpowered her pretty easily. Maybe like hit her over the head with a rock. Well, no, hit her over the head with a rock. I'm talking about killing her. So hit her over the head with a rock and then drown her.
She was already in the water. She could have lunged at her ass.
No, it'd have just been easier because when you're in the water, it's cold. I just want an advantage.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she's already lost a lot of blood. I feel like one swift,
Crack
strike to the head and then drown her. So it looks like she drowned herself and the baby because of the shame. Ooh. And then you got it, but Phoebe didn't do that. She's a good person or whatever. And so when she's at the funeral for her mama, because at a certain point, because D- was doing way too much. At some point, she threw a chamber pot at her. Phoebe knows she's in for a world of abuse, and then her daddy's not back yet either. So she doesn't have a protector. So she's like, you know what? I'm not taking this from you. And hauls up. She starts bucking up against her. And so D- didn't like that. So the day of Phoebe's mama's funeral, she arranges to have her sold, like kidnapped and sold to another plantation, and telling her about herself. And then Phoebe curses her, like Celie did Mister. And she's taken to like a perilous journey. It's just terrible. She's seen all kind of horrors. She's not used to this because she's had a pretty soft life. Essex does take off running. He does get away. And then she's sold off because Essex wanted her to run with him.
Yeah.
And she was just like, no, my daddy promised. It's like, all right. So Phoebe sold off. She's trying to, be like, okay, this is my life now. I ain't got my mama. I'm alone in this world. So she's taken to, because they're in Virginia the whole time, but now she's being taken to the big city. Is it Richmond?
Yep.
Okay, and then there's this big old, not big old, but there's this prison there.
Two-story wooden prison.
Yeah, the Lapierre.
Ruben Lapierre was
the
man.
Lapierre jail. And so she's there to be sold, but then the owner, he takes an interest in her. So he's like, no, you're special. You're going to be mine.
Somebody snatches her up for him. And
So he's like, you're going to be mine. So he's like, and you can sew. I'm going to have you fix up the fancy girls, i.e. the sex trafficked young women, and get them all dolled up for the brothels and stuff like that. And that'll be your job. And so she's doing that for a while. She's getting the lay of the land. She's pregnant.
Right. After a few months, she's like, oh.
Oh.
Because one of the ladies was like,
why are you throwing up? When's the last time you had a period? And she's like, oh,
it was
snap.
May. And it's like, girl, it's November.
Girl. And so, yeah, during all that time, though, Ruben's like grooming her to be his mistress. Treats, yeah, he's like, you come up and stay with me and do this and blah, blah, blah. So after she gives birth, he finally makes his move. And basically, he's just like, yeah, you my concubine now, but you gonna be my main thing. And she was asking, like, why doesn't he have a white wife? He's got money.
This was a good point.
And they were like, oh, well, he don't, like, even though, like, the respectable white folks wouldn't give it to him because like, he's doing the dirty work.
Yeah, they don't respect
even though they love the fruits of his labor.
Oh, of course.
They're just like, I was like, oh, you produce the best niggles, all that kind of stuff. Because he's, Another big part of this book too was the parent-child separation of the enslaved people. Like, they're real big on tearing families apart, and to me, that's just always been one of the most like mind heart-wrenching things that you think of, like screaming mothers and children being ripped apart. And so that's why they called it the Devil's Half Acre. And Reuben was the devil because he really relished in cruelty, like pimping, like making sure the people that he was human trafficking, guerrilla pimping, the people that he was human trafficking really understand that he meant business. He whipped a woman to death in front of Phebe one time, or not to death, whipped her until she had a miscarriage because she had been teaching slaves how to read. At a certain point, she got to meet some of his friends who also had sort of a plissage. That's what they call it in New Orleans. Basically, when you just have an unofficial black wife and have kids with them. But since she was already light, like the children she ended up having with him could pass for white. And he doted on them, but he did not care for her son with Essex, who she named Monroe. And so she was always trying to like balance that. You know, a big part of the book is her just trying to make the best of things.
Trying to pretend like she's
but
not disgusted.
she was at a certain point, she was like, okay, this isn't tenable.
She had 5 of his kids because one of them didn't make it.
Yeah, the boy
didn't make it.
Yeah,
but I'm
but
like,
she was like, she took a long time because she knew how to fix herself. I'm like, man, you waited a long time to fix yourself. I feel like I'd have done that a lot earlier, but I'm saying that from my point of privilege.
Man.
So along the way too, she finds out he's sleeping with other women too, because there's a tavern, which was just a brothel, where he, you know, sold liquor and girls and stuff like that. And she would go there to play the piano sometimes. And she found out like he was sleeping with other girls, getting them pregnant and stuff. And she felt a way about it, but she was like, also, I don't really care. I don't like him like that.
Right.
One day, they get word that a prisoner's coming in, and she finds out it's Essex. So it's like, ding, 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 ding. And so she's like, ooh, love of my life. So she's trying to, he's whipped terribly in front of everybody, and eventually... I
mean, it was a whole show.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
It was really bad. And actually, pinning that, because that was the part that reminded... Well, I'll just talk about it now. That's the part that reminded me of Jesus. Because I was like, this sounds a lot like Stations of the Cross. Like the way that they just stripped this man down and whipped him in front of everybody while they're cheering. Yeah. I was like, and these are people who call themselves Christians. It's like, who would you...
I mean, the fanfare of it, the children, and that was the thing, because Phebe was like, he was like, get dressed in your best outfit, bring the kids down. She was like, can we not bring the kids down? Like, why would any grown adult with kids feel like, or any adult... Why would that be appropriate? Why would you want them to see that? That's crazy.
I mentioned this in the dedication. Your FN CK. He was a proponent of that, bringing back public executions,
which made his death ironic.
Yes, or poetic justice. Or I mean, I don't know. I'm not in charge of the universe, but. But to me, I'm like, the way that it was described, I don't know if Sadequa did that on purpose, but to me, it reminded me a lot of the crucifixion of Christ narrative, basically, where you've got this man who, like Essex, he was, you know, looking back now, wouldn't do anything too bad, just wanted to be a free man. Make money off of his labor.
Right. And love the woman he loved, have his little family. He wasn't bothering nobody.
Nope, definitely wasn't worth being tortured in public, but there you go. So to me, that's just always something to think about when people claim their deep, deep love of Jesus Christ. It's like, y'all would be the same ones killing him. I can already tell.
Period.
Y'all are too concerned with money.
Yeah.
Like that was, because that's what all this was all about. Like this was for money, because if you don't keep these people broken, you can't keep pimping them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was awful.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. So that shook her. So eventually she's able to break away and treat his wounds. They're able to reconnect. And he's like, I need you to get this letter, you know, to the people and stuff like that. And so she goes for the okie doke. To me, it was very obvious, like the German seamstress she used to make the dresses.
Who didn't even want to make her dresses to begin with, because she was.
Well, she didn't want to make it for July. She loved the little girls.
The very first time.
Oh, that's right. She like she had that store.
Yeah. It was like La Pierre.
And then she was like, oh my.
I had the name drop. It was a very pretty woman.
it's like you had to, like, the fact that she trusts, I don't know, to me that was a pretty, for the most part, the story wasn't too predictable, but I was like, oh, she's obviously going to double cross you, girl.
Right.
Because she couldn't be seen going to the post office mailing a letter.
Either.
Because everybody's watching her all the time. So what's his name, Ruben, ends up finding out, and so he decides to play with her emotions and take all the kids for a couple days without telling her where he's going. So she's just like,
including her son,
including her son. Yeah, and so you know, she's all in a tizzy, and then but the girls,
because he knows, he's like, he knows that she was trying to aid the slave, and he's trying to figure out like what is this
and then
about?
he's all like, do you love him? I'm like, you got a lot of nerve.
You love
it's
him?
like, do you love your,
this is disgusting, the coercion of it all. It's like she was like, I hate when he says my name with that question mark in it, or like
Pheby.
Yeah, and it's like, bitch, like I can say no.
Right.
Yeah, I'm being coerced. Like I can't say no, because what is the alternative?
And I also want to know, like, it's so frustrating too, because it's like, well, you insist on torturing me, but you also want me to love you.
Yeah,
like,
this is weird.
It's like, tell me you love me. It's like, ugh. It's like, yeah, she should have killed. I mean, she kept giving him sleeping potions. I'm like, give him a stronger dose. Thank you. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Nah, because I was thinking, I mean, if we're already there, just trying to make sure he sleeps a long time, let's just extend that sleep time to, you know,
but
forever.
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. I mean, it is.
But she had a lot on her plate too,
you know
though.
what I think about too?
She had a lot on her plate.
Like, because I think about a lot of times, like when I get older and like if I get like dementia and stuff like that, and I just start confessing stuff, I don't want to have to be like
confessing stuff.
You just start talking about stuff. Like, I don't want to have to be like telling me, it's like, oh, well, you know, I killed your daddy.
So
yeah, it's probably best to not murder people, whatever. And so she ends up helping Essex and Monroe escape. She's able to get with one of the other black wives of the inns. She's over, and there's a network. Oh, that's who I should have dedicated this to. All the unnamed people in the underground who did all this impossible seeming work. Because I hear people now talking about, when I either bring up like, you know, getting rid of racism or reparations. And people are like, that's never going to happen. It's like, if you keep saying that, it's like a conjure. Like, you're putting that out there that it's never going to happen. Like, do you think people in 1850 thought slavery was ever going to end? Like, this stuff has been going on since, what is it, 1619?
And you're in it.
Yeah, you think about from 1619 to 1850.
Yeah.
Of course it felt like it was never going to end, but some people had the balls to be like, nah, the chutzpah, to be like, nah, man, it's like, I'm passing out win or lose. Like, I'm like, you gonna have to, you have to fight me.
That's
like,
right.
yeah. And so, and to the point where we're here now, having a good time, able to assemble, read, sass off at the mouth.
Yes,
like,
that's one of my favorites.
I like it a lot too.
Feels nice.
But yeah, so they're, but yeah, she's able to get Monroe and Essex up out of there with the help of the underground. And that's kind of where the story stops. But we get a little epilogue where we find out that Phoebe's girls were able to make most of them, I think three of them passed.
Are in the north. Oh, I think all of them were white passing.
No, there was one who refused to pass and was mad at the sisters for passing.
From a, yes. So meaning like they all look like they could
be
pass,
white,
but the three oldest ones all lived together. And then Bertie was the youngest one, and she was kind of estranged from them.
It's easy to stand in judgment, but it's like...
I mean, I'm just saying. So,
yeah, but we end up finding out, like, yeah, the girls, it was the oldest one, she gets married, and the mama sent her some money, but she's like, we shouldn't be writing too much because I don't want people to know.
Letters, mama.
Reuben ends up, like, dying of a broken heart when they lose the Civil War. Because he don't know how to make an honest living.
And he lost his wealth because he got caught somewhere with 50 people, and they're like, "Bitch, you can't take them. They free now."
He's like, "But I want them."
Right.
Oh yeah, because the way they described him, I was visioning Boss Hog.
Disgusting. Ew. Probably.
Yeah.
Not like that. He didn't really have a face, but I could picture his body more so than his face.
Yeah, he looked like Santa Claus.
But
the way
a
they
big
described
belly
him,
and just
like,
disgusting.
just
A whiskey
interesting.
smelling, a whiskey soaked Santa.
Yeah, like he's always.
But not
sweating
even
it.
Santa. They make him seem like you're not disgusted by him necessarily.
I'm
so.
disgusted by Santa.
Well, I know you are.
He's like, he's always watching you.
Ew, Santa. He's probably on the Epstein list
Oh
at this
boy,
point.
it's like, man.
Oh my
he's
gosh,
like,
not you,
I
Santa.
know if you've been good.
Oh,
It's like, no.
come sit on my lap, kitties. It's like,
Yeah, I do think it is lightweight
that's a little
grooming.
weird.
You.
It's a little
Yeah,
bit-
like I'm just saying.
that's
I
not
know it's a
cool.
beloved mascot. Whatever.
Blah,
I'll
blah,
move
blah.
on. So we find out Phebe. Okay, so Phebe gets to outlive Reuben. I took that as victory, but she never gets to link back up with Essex. He ends up dying of TB.
yeah.
But Monroe, he ends up thriving, making an
Married
honest
to
living. Yeah,
kids.
it turns out you can make a living without trafficking people. Like
Who knew?
I know. Like you don't necessarily have to abuse and
You
manipulate
don't have
people.
to be.
Yeah. So and then we get the other part of the epilogue, or the author's note, where she writes about how she based this on a lot of real people, especially when she visited the real Lapeer jail, or I don't know if it was Lapeer jail, but the Devil's Half Acre.
Well, I think they moved there. They moved to Virginia or something.
Right,
And so
and
they were
when she
just
was on
doing
a
a
tour,
sightseeing
yeah.
tour that her husband suggested. There were all these mile markers along this river or something. And you walk and it was telling this story. And she was like, what?
She's like,
Why
there's
don't
a
people
story
know?
here.
Yeah, like why don't people know who
And
this
that's
is?
what's interesting. Okay, because of course slavery stuff is a bummer, so I understand why people don't necessarily dive into it. But it is a rich, fertile ground
Oh
for
my
human
gosh,
stories.
It is.
Especially
much.
the human desire to live free. Like to me, like why is that so hard for people to grasp? I feel like throughout all of human history, there's this desire to enslave people. Like, because it's not
okay.
like we just did it.
Well, let's just do it real quick.
All right.
So here I am. I am, imagine this, super awesome to myself, to my own self. And everyone around me agrees that I'm super awesome. We all kind of together agree that we're super awesome. And then we see you. And you're not exactly like us. And it's like, you're maybe not as awesome. So, you know what I mean?
Slave.
Yeah. And also, it's sort of your not so awesomeness reinforces my awesomeness in my mind, because then you have to do what I say. And then if I wasn't this awesome, then I wouldn't have the power to do that to you, or I wouldn't, you know, and everybody wouldn't agree. So therefore art thou. You have to. Phoebe.
Ferber. That's how I always heard it. Ferber. God. And she was so much better than everyone.
She was.
And it's just
so
this whole
smart,
desire
nice.
of like, I have to own you. I have to own your work.
Yeah.
I have to, it's just so disgusting. And the fact too that, okay, as a young girl, it is understandable. Like she's been told her whole life, when you're 18, your daddy's gonna give you your freedom papers. But I've read enough of these stories to know that
wasn't
doesn't
gonna
happen.
But again, like we all delude ourselves, no matter what station of life that we're in, that it's going to be different for us. So I do think that, like, you know, that little bit of innocence that's in you can convince, you know, like, yeah, like it's going to be different for me. And especially because, like, you've never really had to endure the reality of what this system truly is.
Yeah.
Same way as like us, the way they try to whitewash it in history now, in terms of how they tell the stories about slavery. It's like, I mean, you know, they were family.
They were family.
Why do you think we put her on the pancake box?
I mean,
we loved her.
We would never mistreat them. It was too expensive.
Right. I'm just losing money. You know, so it was very much crazy. What I did like was that he left the jail, but in both, so even in the real life story and in the book, he left the jail to her. He left everything to her, basically, which I was like, wow.
Like he really,
Wow.
here's the other
What?
thing about men like this. Like they really in their minds feel like I do believe that Reuben in his mind felt like he loved her, even though in real life he just loved owning her, which is different than actually loving a person. Because if you love a person, you want them to be happy, fulfilled. You're not like, shit.
Even if
he
you're
would
not
never
doing-
let her leave with all the children at once because he wanted to make sure she'd come back.
Because part of she's miserable.
Yeah, like the logical thing would be to leave
to
here.
leave you.
This sucks.
Oh my God. And then when they describe it too. So you guys, we did mention that the Devil's Half Acre is a real place. Like our author learned about this place. So I'm just going to read a little bit about this. So it says the Richmond slave jail was owned and operated by Robert Lumpkin, a trader who was known for being incredibly evil, incredibly violent. Not only did he hold enslaved people in his jail, but he also offered to punish them, essentially torture them for a fee. And then he owned Mary Lumpkin too, imprisoned her and fathered her 5 children. And the first one, she was 13 when she had that baby. Okay, which is disgusting. So, so a year after the Civil War in real life, Lumpkin died, leaving everything to the woman. This is in quotes. The woman who resides with me, Mary, and she made sure that all her kids were educated. She made sure that they were free, and she had freed herself. And then later, she inherited that jail, and enabled it to become one of America's first HBCUs. By 1867, she at leased the old jail to a Baptist minister, which I think this was also in the story. She used that. Nathaniel Culver, who turned it into a religious school for newly freed Black people. The Devil's Half Acre then became God's Half Acre. And by 1899, something more, Virginia Union University, now just a few miles down the road. Which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I love stories that take like these actual real life details and then like you're kind
Because
of
you know what
creating these
other
narratives.
piece of media did that, I think, really well?
What's
Especially really helping to illustrate the humanity of enslaved people. Like they weren't just this these were people.
You weren't
And
just
that
doing them a
was,
solid.
Underground, that TV show.
Oh, yeah,
Underground.
that was good. That was
Yeah,
good,
it
yeah.
really did like encapsulate that. And Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Because I love that scene when Levita, what's her name? Journey Smollett.
Her character?
Levita.
Oh, girl, I don't remember.
It was started with L. And when she was smashing up those cars.
Oh, yeah, you did love that.
I
You
do.
talked about that a lot.
And
She
that
had the axe
song,
or something with her?
She had a bat.
Bat.
Like
It was
Harley
something.
Quinn.
Yeah.
And she was
Or
like,
Beyonce.
or Beyonce. And then they play that song, Everything That the Devil Stole, God is Given Back to Me. And that's what it feels like when we're like, okay, it went from the Devil's Half Acre to God's Half Acre. Like we're reclaiming this and good is triumphing over evil.
Even though they demolished that jail and then like they basically covered it up. Like they, you know what I mean? The foundation's still there, but you know,
Because it stank. One of the things they made sure they said was like, man, the smells that came out of there.
man, and then just year after year, decade after decade, the cruelty, all of that energy in that place like that too. But you just covering it up with rocks or whatever, trying to make it seem like it just, now we don't have to talk about it. It's like that's the thing you want to, when we don't talk about these stories at length, like when we don't go into the detail of like how it sounded, like even just the thwap sound being read in terms of like the whipping and then the graphicness of it is just like, again, reading about it is nothing like being in it. You know what I mean? And then forgetting the extent to which they went through to torture these people to keep them from any semblance of thinking that they had any sort of autonomy or.
Well, like Kanye would say, it's like, well, if you just stayed in slavery, that was a choice.
Yeah. I mean, and that choice, again, like, right. I mean, Phoebe had a choice. Like, we all have choices. But there wasn't like, because meaning her choice was survival, though. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it came down
Because you
to.
have
You're
a choice
making
when
it
someone
like,
pulls a gun on you, like, give me
Yeah.
your wallet. It's like, well, I guess
No.
I'm choosing to give you my wallet.
yeah, or I
No.
can say no.
Yeah,
And then,
like, no, it's like, this isn't my choice. I'm not choosing. I'm choosing to stay alive.
this is a situation, right? Exactly, and
That's all
thank
that's
you.
happening.
That's all
It's
that's
like, I'm not
happening here.
choosing to, like, give a stranger my wallet.
No,
Like,
I didn't choose for this person to come up to me.
It's what's known as, the legal term is duress.
I was under duress.
I was under duress. So a lot of times you can be like, oh yeah, you didn't actually make that decision. You
my
were under.
gosh.
It's not like when you go to court and someone stole your car. It's like, well, you just gave him your car. He pulled a gun on you.
It's like,
gave
why
him
did
the
you give it
keys.
to him? It's
Yeah,
his
it's
now.
like,
Yeah, it's like
another thing I would like to correct too, that would maybe help paint a more accurate portrait of what slavery was like, is stop calling them plantations. Because, I mean, I know that's the general term, and then there's nothing, I mean, in English, if you say plantation, everybody knows what you mean. But because plantation is such a pretty word, because even then they wouldn't call them human traffickers, you'd be planters. It's like, oh, I heard your father was a planter.
and it sounds like you're giving life. It sounds like you're putting a seed in the ground and you're nourishing
and growing
something
stuff.
and
And
growing
it's like,
something.
oh, we have a plantation. We have a tobacco plantation. A much better term would be forced labor camp, because then you'd be less likely to want to have your wedding there.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know, because it's like, oh, you want to have your planning at the Sanderson forced labor camp? It's like, ooh. It's like, ooh, is that
have lovely
it's
columns.
like, what
in
are
the
those
front.
little cottages for? Were those like guest houses? It's like, yes. It's like for our guests.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's like this was very, very much a forced labor camp, similar to Auschwitz. Like, do you want to have your wedding at Auschwitz? No.
Oh my gosh.
So just for
Can you
when people are
imagine?
like, well, why is everybody getting all mad at me because I want to have my wedding at a plantation? It's because it's a forced labor
poor
camp.
taste, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in poor taste.
Yeah.
I really loved the fact that, you know, Phoebe's mom, even though she was enslaved, she really did instill into her daughter that, like, she kept being like, you're not you're gonna have your freedom, even though you could be perceived as a slave with the station that you have, only in body, not in your mind. Like, that was just sort of
or
a
only
mantra.
in name, not in your mind.
Yeah.
You're a slave in name,
So
never in your mind.
yeah,
And she
I
was trying to
like
put that in Monroe, and he was just
Mm-hmm.
like, Mama.
He's like, that's a hey me.
Yeah, but I was really glad that he didn't get sold away from her. I
was so
had that
scared.
anxiety especially like the first time she went to the market without him, and she had the
Came back,
realization,
yeah,
like,
oh Lord.
because that's when you read slave memoirs, that would happen a lot.
All the time. Like, what happened to July? That was so messed up. She was one of the young ladies that was on at the jail house who just helped do, you know, labor around and
House
stuff
girl.
like that. And she ended up being like, yeah, like her house girl, if you will, and like a little sister to her. Like, she helped her with her kids. She was basically like her nanny.
Trying to
and
protect
sister.
her, like, he just
Yeah.
like didn't want to look.
Put your hair up, don't be cute.
Yeah.
Basically, like, kept
Tone it
telling her,
down,
like,
yeah.
tone it down. And I mean, she wasn't even doing nothing, but it's like, you just being yourself
is a little too much for these
and
guys
being
to take.
enslaved and being attractive is a curse. She kept saying that, like, beauty's a curse to a slave. I mean, it's all pretty, seems
Cursed.
cursy. Yeah,
Yeah.
cursed. ED. I said cursy. Curtsy.
Let's take a break.
Don't do that. Just because I'm saying words that aren't real.
Well, we're at an hour.
Okay. We are not. This is 55, 50,
Where I'm
20.
from, where the planet I'm from, 55 minutes is an hour.
Okay, what planet are you from?
I don't want to talk about it on
Okay,
podcast. I
fine
don't want
then.
people hunting me down
Wow.
and my people.
Fine, we'll take a break.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back from the break, you guys. Yeah, man, this book was something else. Like I said, I wished, I mean, not that you can be prepared to hear about all of the terrible things in slavery, though, but I think what our author did a really great job of was, you know, slavery is a terrible terrible institution. And like you said, I mean, you can forget that they were people. You know, I even like the person first language that we use now more so saying like enslaved person, because it's like when you just throw a name out there like a slave or whatever, I think that's the whole thing, like the dehumanization of any group of people for any reason. lends itself to such cruelty, and like when you have to really be faced with what that looks like, even when you think about like the ICE camps and stuff like that now, like we're removed from it because we're not like in it. But because we know the history of this country and how these groups move, think, and feel, because we're rooted in these historical stories and life is cyclical, it's like we know, I mean, this same kind of stuff is happening. Not necessarily yellow wife in it, but the being...
that impetus is still there.
It's definitely still there. And then they don't care about separating you from your kids. They don't care about rewriting the narrative as to what they feel like they're doing, or dehumanizing you, or making it seem like this is some sort of noble pursuit that they have. Like they're entitled to you and your personhood and your work and your labor.
I really hate that they're going after what they consider to be like Mexicans or illegals or whatever, when to me, at least from what my eyeballs are saying, like these are clearly the descendants of the original inhabitants of this country, and y'all are still trying to do the Trail of Tears. Like to me, the way that they teach history is like that was just in the past and it's over. And it's like, no, the history is always with us.
Well, because where did those people go? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when slavery was, air quote, when it was over, air quotes over, when Jim Crow was over, the people who loved it and was participating heavily, like, where did they go?
Death Eaters.
They're still here.
Yeah. That's why I
These
loved
motherfuckers
Order
are
of the
still
Phoenix,
here.
because to me, that's how I felt so much. Even now, where I'm just like, these racists are still here. Like they didn't go anywhere.
They don't evaporate.
Like it wasn't that long ago, and they still teach their kids this stuff, and they're real proud in it. Like it's like, we're proud boys. It's like, okay,
But are you?
it's like, okay, like be proud or whatever, but of what? Like that's what you're proud of? Like the fact that it's like, well, we murdered a whole bunch of people. It's like, okay. Like that's, I guess, like that's really, really messed up. And the fact that you want to call them foreigners, that's ironic.
And it's just real gross though. But then like, just seeing or hearing, like in these stories in particular, just a lot of the, the grooming of young women too, because I mean, it got heavy into the, she had to sort of balance that, like, okay, I'm here, I'm trying to preserve my family. It was this tightrope walk, and she was required to, when she finally figured out why that lady, Delphina, sent her there, she was like, you're gonna live the life of a whore like you deserve. And she didn't really get why she was saying that until after she had been there a while and realized like, oh, I have to pretty these girls up to go into basically sex work. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I did like that she was trying to record their stories. Like in this particular book, I forgot to mention that. See?
Yeah.
Because, she was like, I want to preserve their stories. Like they're people. So she would always ask them, where are you from? Where are you from? And she was like, I can't do much, but I'm going to do my best to, sit there and pray with them and then just like record their stories. So I had to give them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that one girl spit in her face and basically was like, bitch, fuck out of here. Okay, you out here doing the devil's work.
Right. Because that's...
And it's like, you are though. But it's like, again, it's hard to be
like,
judgmental.
and go where?
Right. What am I supposed to do?
Where? End up in a worse whorehouse? Like, that's pretty much your option.
Pimps and hoes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's come up again.
It's come up again.
I wish the words could just fall down or something.
Pimps and hoes?
Yeah.
I guess it could bring pimps and hoes.
It probably is right now. But yeah, it's just real sad.
Maybe we can change the idiom. Instead of it's raining cats and dogs, it's raining pimps and hoes.
Pimps and hoes.
It's raining pimps and hoes.
Out here. Oh my gosh, my mom would love that. Our moms would love that.
Yeah, they would.
Oh man, our grandmas, love it. Mwah. Speaking of the ancestors being proud, okay.
But yeah, to me, it's an encapsulation of like you're weaponizing human psychology to steal people's lives from them.
That is,
yeah.
That's basically what it is, and it's just real sad though. But again, like I think highlighting these kind of stories, and sometimes when they're sometimes, well, don't forget it. Just hold it. You can't.
Okay.
Hold it? You got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes when you are, see now I forgot.
Sorry. I just got so excited.
I saw you.
Because I left out what happened to D-.
Ooh, the curse came true.
Yes, the curse came true.
This was also in the epilogue, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, we find out D-. So because Master Jacob ended up dying in the accident that killed Ruth, Phoebe's mama, and so she ended up remarrying a dastardly fellow who gambled away the estate. And she had to basically like live in squalor.
Move back with her parents or something in some little farmhouse. But they said that she kind of lost her mind a bit. Yeah. And she was like,
yes. Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, it was refreshing because I was like, oh my gosh, this never ends well.
Because that's the thing, like it's a sickness. I feel like whenever you're in an abuse system or oppression, all that stuff, it sickens the abuser too. And so she obviously felt powerless in her life and just wanted to act out on the people that she could get away with mistreating.
And this is why I feel betrayed, because it's like you more than anybody should know how terrible this is because you feel that oppression.
Yeah.
You are the direct, you get it. And then it's like, for some reason, you want to turn around. Yeah, instead of being better.
But you could have chose to be like Miss Sally.
You could have.
You had that option. You could have chose a life of kindness and compassion, but instead you were just like, oh, I'm so sick of all these niggas.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
So yeah. I'm sorry I made you forget your thing, friend. I was just so happy that
I'm glad you remembered that. That was a good one.
Sad and in squalor.
I mean, I'm sure it was along the same lines of what I've been saying because I find myself repeating myself anyway. So it's fine. Y'all know what I mean.
Learn.
Y'all need thank you. Yes. But no, it was a really good book. And so I think we should probably go ahead and rate the book, friend.
Okie dokie.
Do you want to go first so I don't steal yours? Or
I don't know. I haven't even come up with one yet.
me either.
So
We're winging it out here. I don't have one. What do you think this is?
well, I felt like the
fake ass book
storytelling was very dynamic. I was never bored. I was always anxious to get back to it. Like whenever I had to stop it, I was like, oh.
Me too.
Yeah.
Especially like that last hour. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get, Sadequa can write.
She did well.
So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 yellow dresses.
Huh?
Yellow dresses.
Okay. I like it. Okay. I agree. Writing style, great. Again, this has to be one of my very favorite genres, historical fiction. So she nailed it with that. Plus, it was just such a compelling story. Like these characters, like knowing that she pulled in the history and stuff like that. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5. Secret pockets in my dress.
Ooh.
For all my stuff.
All your missives.
Yes.
1,
yes.
2,
all
3,
my
4,
herbs, all my okay. Shout out to Dave Chappelle and probably Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
But yeah, the little pockets in my dress keeping me protected, you know, where I can tuck away the things, you know, people could try to. It's what you carve out for yourself, right? You know, I mean, you can be in the worst circumstances, and sometimes it's like, again, like having that strong sense of self passed down, but then also keeping that little bit of yourself for yourself to fortify you is important too. So
to stay strong. And stop admiring people just because they're rich. A lot of times those people are very psychotic. Like the idea that like somehow capitalism is the most ethical system of like whatever. Like a lot of people make that argument, but like slavery was deeply entrenched in capitalism. Actually, capitalism works best with slavery because you don't have to pay your workers.
Hello.
So it's not like this idea that, because right now we're going through the stuff with the commander-in-chief finding out he was in league with a super famous human trafficker, and everyone's just always just so in love. Like we would rather be led by a proven rapist who is best friends with a human trafficker than a black lady. And I feel like this book kind of helps encapsulate, like, it helps to lay out the framework as to why that is in America, why Americans have that mindset. That because we worship money and power and not merit and talent and hard work.
You couldn't, because then why wouldn't you admire the enslaved the most? They're working the hardest, the longest, all the time,
making all the inventions because they're doing all the work.
So there's that. Again, this is why, you know, you get your Aunt Jemima pancakes, your slave in a box, because you can't be bothered to know the recipe. Nobody passed it down to you. You had a nanny, you had a mammy, you had a, so anyway, I think that this was a beautifully written book. I'm really glad we picked it, even though how we picked it was just because straight up, it looks so nice. But it also was just, it was meaty and like you said, it's extremely entertaining.
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, like if you decide to read this book, just know that it is extremely graphic. There's a lot of sexual assault, left and right. Okay, people are dying.
Because that's
abused.
how we start. That's how you do
what
it.
it was. That's what it was. So, but yeah, very good book. And I guess that leaves us with.
What?
What happened?
I was just being quiet.
Were you?
I was shutting my mouth.
I don't think you were.
Yes,
were
I
you
was.
burping into the? No, I don't know why I'm picking on you. You just looked. I don't know. Let me stop picking you. Spin it. Okay. I think we kind of already said this, but
Just to remind him.
just to remind you guys, the holiday's coming up. Okay. And we're gonna do a Am I the Asshole / I don't know, scenarios about the holidays and how tricky they can be. I feel like we did this last year. It might not have been for Thanksgiving. Maybe it was though.
And I actually might have an Am I the Asshole question just for myself. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to
I
answer
probably am.
Okay. Well, maybe you should ask the listeners.
I know. They'll have to come back for that.
Yay.
Yeah, that's the
okay.
hook.
And you have to let us know. Yeah, so if you guys are listening to this and you think of something that you want us to specifically deal with on the show, definitely hit us up at thefabpodcast@gmail.com, or you can let us know the Fab Podcast on Instagram. You can put it in a message, and we'll try to include that into the show, you guys. Yes,
your body belongs to you, and that's
Yes, it
why
does.
slavery is bad.
It is. And guys, listen, stuff the good stuff in your secret pockets. Keep it for yourself. Spend time with people you love. Life is short, guys. This is it. Like, this is actually it. So enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. I'm trying. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.